Yeah.
I'm Amy. This is my presentation on Introduction to Production. I'll be going through 3 of the job roles from the performing arts industry. And yeah. First up's costume designer. The responsibilities needed for this is you have to make sure you do the overall look of the clothes and costumes in theatre productions. You have to research and design costumes for the whole cast. You have to make and hire costumes for everyone on stage, especially in larger productions. You have to manage and oversee the work of other staff. You have to make sure you know all the script. You have to discuss ideas with the production designer, director and makeup set designer and lighting designers. You have to create costumes that fit within the concept and budget. And you have to sketch up costume designs and give instructions to the costume makers. Being a costume designer means having very long hours, which could involve doing weekend and evening work. Your place of work would most likely be in a studio, a theatre, from an office or from home. There isn't any particular qualifications that you need to be a costume designer. However, you'd be expected to have a high level of design skill, creative vision and practical sewing skills. The majority of costume designers have a HND degree or a postgraduate qualification in either costume design, fashion, theatre design or performing arts production. To be a costume designer, you should have creativity, design skills, good communication, leadership ability, organisational skills, budget awareness, eye for detail, work well under pressure, meet deadlines, good research skills, flexible and adaptable attitude, and knowledge of the production process. Some skills in more detail are you have to have creativity so that the costumes aren't boring or plain. You have to have good communication skills so nothing is made wrong. You have to have good organisational skills so everything is in its place at the right time. You have to be able to work well under pressure so all costumes are correct even if there is a short deadline. And you have to have knowledge of the production process so you know what's happening at all times. Choreographer. The responsibilities for a choreographer are you have to create and plan dance routines for dancers or performers. You have to develop ideas to create a performance. Work with other parts of the production team. Choose suitable music for the routines. Audition the dancers and teach and rehearse routines. With being a choreographer, you may work long hours during the day when teaching and rehearsing the dances. Your main place of work will be in a dance studio, rehearsal room or a theatre. And choreographers usually specialise in a certain style of dance such as contemporary, jazz, tap, classical, ballet and so on. To be a choreographer, you should have a high level of dance ability, a high level of dance training, a lot of dance experience, teaching and communication skills. You have to be patient, have good stamina and concentration. You need graded examinations, creativity and imagination, an understanding of dancers' needs, an understanding of health and safety issues, the ability to work well with others, and a thorough knowledge of dance and movement. A choreographer needs good communication skills so everyone knows what to do. You need good creativity so the dances are eye-catching and not boring. You need knowledge of dance and movement so you can teach correctly. You need to work well with others as you're always going to be part of a team and need to be able to work with other people. You need to be patient as some dancers may learn slower than others. Stage manager. Responsibilities are to make sure that all the sets, props and equipment are ready and in place. Organise staff so they're all in the right place at the right time. Organise all practical and technical aspects of rehearsals and shows. Work with staff to plan wardrobe, set design, scene changes, sound and lighting. Manage budgets for props. Keep a prompt copy of the script. Cooperate with the theatre managers. Give cues to the performers and make sure the performance runs smoothly. Hours can be long and quite unsocial when you're a stage manager. Meetings and rehearsals are usually throughout the day, however performances are mainly in the evenings and on a weekend. You're usually the last person to leave the venue and it's usually late at night. And stage managers might be based at one venue or they may travel to other venues when on tour. To be a stage manager, you should have stage work experience, a level 4 HNC diploma in performing arts production, foundation degrees and degrees in theatre practice, technical theatre or stage management, interest in performing arts and theatre, planning, organisational and leadership skills, good communicational skills, good decision-making ability. You'll need confidence, the ability to multitask, a lot of patience, the ability to work well under pressure, attention to detail and understanding of health and safety. Stage managers need organisational skills so that everything is in its place at the right time. They'll need patience as you're overseeing everyone who is part of the performance. They need to be able to work well under pressure as a stage manager has a lot of jobs. They have to be able to multitask as stage managers have to do a lot of things at different times. And they need good communication skills as you will have to tell a lot of people what to do and when to go on stage. These are my strengths and why they'd be good in all the jobs. I can work well under pressure. This skill is useful for each job role, as in each role you will have to meet deadlines which may be quite short and can put pressure on you to complete a task. I have good communicational skills, which is useful for each job, as they all have to be able to communicate with the rest of the team to make sure everything is being done correctly. And I have good patience. This skill is useful for each job role, as in each role you need to be patient with the other parts of the team, as some people may work a little slower than others. My weaknesses. Time management. This would need to be improved for each role, as time management is a crucial part of the job. Each role has tight deadlines to meet and some things will have to be done very precisely. Organisational skills. This would have to be improved for each job role, as in each role you would need to be very organised so you know where everything or everyone is and if things are in the right place at the right time. And slow. This would have to be improved when working in each of these job roles, as in each role you won't be able to work slowly due to deadlines, and working slowly would mean ending up behind on work. Personal safety. Spillages. These are a hazard in the theatre, as if a drink has been spilled, someone could slip on it and injure themselves. Any spillages should always be cleaned up immediately to prevent injuries. First aid. There should always be a first aid kit close by in case anyone has a minor injury. Also, there should be a member of staff who is first aid trained in case of major injuries. Cuts and burns. These can be quite common for dancers, so whenever it happens, you should make sure it's seen to and treated as soon as possible. Curtains. These are a hazard in the theatre, as if they're too long, you could trip over it and injure yourself. Also, if they're too close to the lights, they could catch fire. And wires. These are an issue as they can get in the way and you could trip over them. Also, if a wire snaps, you could get an electric shock off it if you're not careful. Health and well-being. Fitness. Fitness is important, as you can't be getting out of breath or tired during a performance as a dancer, singer or actor. Nutrition and diet. This is important as someone in the performing arts industry needs to be healthy as they're constantly on the go. Warm up and cool down. These are important as warm-ups help stretch and loosen up your muscles so you don't pull any. Also, cool down helps you to stretch out your muscles again so you aren't in pain the following day. Hygiene. You should have good hygiene when in the performing arts industry, as you're usually working quite closely to people, so you need to make sure you don't smell bad as it can put them off. Injuries. When you are injured, you shouldn't take part in any physical activities as you don't want to make your injury any worse. Hydration. Keeping hydrated is very important in anyone's life, as it is what keeps you healthy as well as alive. Because your body is nearly 2/3 of water, you have to make sure you're consuming the right amount of fluids every day to avoid getting any headaches, feelings of tiredness or underperforming in something, which for someone in the performing arts industry is very important. You can get fluids from many things as well as water, such as tea, coffee, milk, fruit juices, soft drinks and even food, which actually takes up 20% of our daily fluid intake. However, drinking water is going to be the best choice as it will deliver the fluids without any calories or causing damage to your teeth. Performers such as dancers, actors and singers need to make sure they are always hydrated, as for dancers who are in a performance, they'll be constantly on the go, which will be causing them to sweat, losing the fluids in their body. So keeping hydrated will help to restore those fluids so the dancer doesn't collapse or not perform to their very best. For actors and singers, on the other hand, as well as them sweating due to lights and having to move about the stage and backstage, they need to stay hydrated so they can be performing as best as they can, as well as having their vocal cords lubricated so they don't go croaky when they're in the middle of a performance. Thank you for listening.